Hey Internet, welcome to Worldview Everlasting, your favorite YouTube addiction, and this is your daily fix, a running commentary on life, death, the world, the church, and what the Bible says God has to think about all of it. Yeah, so last night, Sunday evening, I'm relaxing and I decided to check Facebook because I'm addicted like the rest of us, and this comes across my feed from a friend. I thought it was kind of interesting. It's a little meme that says, beliefs conceal reality, eliminate doubt, and justify atrocities. Nobody commits atrocities in doubt. Doubt is the antidote to the virus of faith, belief, and unreason. It reminded me of a piece from the Washington Post that I saw last week, in which an author writes, in light of the Paris attacks, is it time to eradicate religion? And though the author, by the end of the article, does a good job of at least saying we shouldn't put them all in camps, and even though he tries to give a hat tip to some religious truth and fact about not all religions are quite on the same level, nonetheless he falls into the same basic pattern of assertions. Early in the article it says, religion, it would seem, breeds violence. Now what's so normal in this is that we bypass the one who's actually doing the violence. We bypass the man. It isn't humanity that creates violence, it's belief in God. It isn't man's fault that there's violence in the world, it's God's fault if he even exists, but he doesn't exist, but we'll blame him anyway. How like sinful man is this to always off-put the excuse onto someone other than our inherently fallen nature. Later in the article, he makes the case that because religions are usually developed from some sort of revelation, reason stops at some point and gives way to mere conviction. So all world religions are marked by irrational certainty. The problem, he goes on to say, is that unlike rationality, which all humans possess, I'm going to end quote there and say, are you sure?
There's a whole bunch of boneheads on both sides.
Revelation or enlightenment belongs only to a select few. But here's the thing, you have just assumed and asserted that all humans possess rationality, and secondarily, maybe more importantly, actually that rationality works, that it makes sense, that it is an effective way to ascertain reality. The problem is, you believe in rationality. You have a faith in the ability of reason to give us peace, structure, understanding, perfection, I don't know what, but you trust rationality, and it is an irrational certainty that causes you to do this. Now you want to claim, no, my trust in reason is rational, but you're making a circular argument. You cannot by any means prove the rationality of reason itself. You must assume the conclusion as your premise if reason is going to be trustworthy. So you don't want to call it God, that's fine. I won't say it's God either, but I'm going to say you have a blind and irrational trust in reason. My worldview, in which there is a God who created this reason, at least has an explanation for why it came about, whereas the atheistic worldview, in which everything's happenstance and chance and chaos leading to order for no good reason whatsoever, in that system, I'm not sure reason even makes sense a little bit. Yeah? In the midst of all of this, I want to go back to that meme in which it's implied we therefore are able to say that religion is the cause of all the violence in the world, and you just gotta get this idea. When it gets asserted, you gotta scoff at this. The person who says this, their understanding of history is on par with somebody who denies the Holocaust. Here you go. Here's another picture, a rundown of the atheistic, that is non-religious, purely reasonable regimes of the last 100 years and all the people that they have killed in the name of their very civil, peaceful-oriented future of humanity. The real problem is not religion. The real problem is mankind. And if we could get over this false idea that we're all somehow inclined toward good and believe what Christianity does assert, which is that we're all inclined toward evil, it isn't religion that causes war, it is man's abuse of religion. And the article does get there. It does admit that usually the religion is being abused by somebody who's hungry for authority. So what makes you think that an atheist is never going to be hungry for political authority and use it to his own ends? So at the end of the day, if somebody asserts beliefs conceal reality and justify atrocities, doubt is the antidote to the virus of faith, belief, and unreason, you might just respond, I doubt you really believe that. Thanks for tuning in to Worldview Everlasting. Welcome.